going to take a moment, once again. I've got to get in touch with my inner Dr. Abati.
Yeah.
Here it goes. Joining us now
You're overly
is Oji Nika Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jenny!
Are you going to get it? Well done. Hello, Jenix. Hello, Tundra Abiola. We miss you, Dr. Abati. I hope you can see this. She is amazing with you're amazing with your intro. Really.
Oh, I forgot one gesture. I forgot to do that.
What is?
I have to pretend I've got glasses on.
That one. Good morning, Rufai. I can't say good morning to you guys because we've been here the whole time.
Yeah,
we begin
this
what's
is so
trending
unusual.
Then. I know. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe.
In the United Kingdom, Prince Andrew's legal team over the weekend challenged his accuser, Virginia Jeffrey, who claimed that she was sex trafficked to the embattled Duke of York on 3 occasions by convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. In a shock motion, Prince Andrew's team called Miss Jeffrey's lawsuit frivolous, saying she has initiated the baseless lawsuit to achieve another payday at the prince's expense. In Tokyo, a man dressed as a Batman villain, the Joker, was arrested over the weekend after allegedly stabbing 10 people on board a commuter train. The man, who is said to be in his 20s, also poured what is believed to be an oil around the train's carriage before lighting it on fire. Some passengers thought it was a Halloween stunt at first. Before panic broke out, the attacker told the police that he was inspired by an earlier train stabbing case in Japan. In Nigeria, photos of a dolphin that was captured by some fishermen in Rivers State went viral over the weekend, with many Nigerians condemning the fishermen's decision to capture the endangered species. Under sports, Barcelona forward Sergio Aguero was diagnosed with arrhythmia over the weekend after experiencing pain in his chest during Barcelona's 1-1 draw with Alaves. The Argentine striker, who joined Barcelona on a free transfer from Manchester City, will have to undergo a full heart check in the coming days. Finally, under entertainment, actor Alec Baldwin spoke publicly for the first time on camera about Helena Hutchins, the cinematographer he fatally shot on the movie set of Rust, calling her a friend and saying he is in constant contact with her grieving family.
Her name is Helena.
Helena Hutchins. I met with her husband Matthew and her son. Yeah, that's right.
And how did that meeting go?
I wouldn't know how to characterize them. They're mortified.
You guys, you know what? No details.
But do me a favor. I'm gonna answer the question. There are incidental accidents on film sets from time to time, but nothing like this. This is a 1 in a trillion episode. It's a 1 in a trillion event.
Well, let's begin what's trending in Nigeria. The National Convention of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja took center stage on social media over the weekend, following comments by various party stakeholders. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said Nigeria was passing through the most difficult period of its existence, and that in his lifetime of over 70 years, he had never seen the country in such bad shape. Senate Minority Leader Hinaya Abaribe accused the All Progressives Congress of fueling secessionist agitations in the country and systemic injustice. He says the last 6 years of APC rule has shown suppression of citizens, widespread judicial killings, state-backed brutality, and the clampdown of dissenting voices within the country. Well, in the meantime, the former Minister of Aviation, Osita Chidoka, pointed out the absence of Southeastern presidential aspirants at the PDP convention amid the clamor for an Igbo president, while aspirants from other regions had their campaign posters displayed at the venue. Now, I think we did speak with Mr. Ogidi, who, kind of debunks the fact that it's not about it's about the aspirants coming out to, present themselves. But I believe that PDP is a vehicle. And I think that they are, if I would say to you, which I think I have said that to you already, are probably the only party at this point that could probably push an Igbo president, Tundu Abiola.
I mean, you never know at this point. The APC just might. You don't know.
Yeah.
But like I was saying in our conversation with Elder Ogidi, the race is not to the swiftest. It's happened so many times. In fact, I hate to say it, I'm actually quite prejudiced against people who are too quick off the mark. When your campaign posters are all over the place, I think, you might not make it. It's usually a dark horse that will emerge from the wings. So people who are feeling anxious about that lack of representation, I completely understand them, but I'm thinking we should all wait and see how it pans out. You see how Pius Anyim has now officially thrown his hat into the race. That's a more recent development. So it all remains to be seen. As for the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, these are the same comments that they made during the general election in which he was presidential candidate. It was not enough to swing the votes to PDP. I don't think it will be enough again this time. The country has never been so bad. People were saying it then, that you were better off under Goodluck Jonathan than you are now. People said it then, and really, we all saw what happened. So they do need to dig deeper and really address the pressing issues going on in this country and really flow with the zeitgeist, because the culture of the moment, the spirit of the times demands addressing. It cannot be ignored, but ignore it at your peril then.
No, said Tundu.
So for me, two things. Number one will be, yes, you had people from a certain region put out their posters. Ositos Chidoka says... Yeah,
mostly from the north.
From the north.
A lot, yeah. In fact, all of them.
All of them from the north.
Yes.
Ositos Chidoka said that why are people from other parts not putting up their poster? Like they put it, like they don't put it, I'm less concerned. You know what I'm concerned about? Is the solutions to the problem this country faces. Number one, structural problem. Because you see, Nigeria has a structural problem. Why is it that any political party that comes in, the structure, be it APC or PDP, is still the same? I have not heard because a certain political party came in, corruption reduced in this country. I have not heard that insecurity reduced. This insecurity we are talking about has been there. It just got bigger. I have not heard that people say, oh, this year was actually better. It keeps getting worse. So it is obvious we have a structural problem. And what I don't hear by these people are the solutions to the structural problem. Like I was saying to Elder Manuel Ogidi, nobody said at that rally or convention, this is what I will do as regards VAT. Nobody said that. Nobody even said, oh, this is my position on VAT. I think, yeah, you can argue that, okay, sub judice or all of that. Nobody talked about restructuring. Because they know that if they restructure, all the largesse they get by going to Abuja will be no longer there. They'll have to come to their regions and develop and think inward. So nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how they are going to fix the economy and fight the wastes we put out there in terms of paying of subsidy. Nobody talks about that. In fact, when you look at both parties, some will say we'll do it. Those that say we'll remove subsidies, till today they've not removed it. And that's the case with Nigeria. So for me, it shows that both parties and politics at large has a structural defect in this country. And I think for me, what will cut it is the solutions to those structural defects, which these two political parties don't enunciate enough. No clear-cut solutions, no political will to follow it. And for me, it feels like you're taking Nigerians for a ride. So I am less concerned about who puts up the poster or don't put it. I just want Nigeria to work well. Because you see, Oji, if Nigeria works well, we will get to a point where we don't even care who is president in this country. The reason we're still caring who is president is because the structures are not working. I give an instance. Spain didn't have a central government. The two parties, Ciudadanos and Podemos, couldn't reach a compromise. Spain didn't have a central government for over 500 days. The economy moved. That's an over $2 trillion economy. When are we going to get to that point in this country that is not about the leader, but it's about the well-being of the economy? Because if the economy moves, people will de-emphasize less on politics as a means of getting money. They will go and work in the private sector. That's why you see that most politicians in the UK and developed countries, it is when they leave power they make money, and they make it from the private sector, not in government. These things are because we have a structural problem. The economy is not working for all. I think that should be their challenge.
So you can't have we were without a cabinet for 6 months. For Nigeria.
Everything shut down because you see there's a big structural structural problem. We didn't have a cabinet for 6 months. Everything grounded. Another country didn't have leader for over 500 days. Over a year, things were moving. So say, you will know we have a structural problem.
All right, well said, Rufai Tundu. We'll take another story. A video that made the rounds on social media over the weekend shockingly captured some pupils in an orphanage singing the Nigerian national anthem during what appeared to be their morning assembly in murky water. This video has caused outrage amongst many Nigerians. Let's take a look. This broke my heart over the weekend. I believe this is the second video that I have shown now in this type of condition with our children, our Nigerian children. What an injustice on our future at this point. I mean, I believe this school is called Mawu Madoka Orphans and Less Privileged School. I mean, it's an orphanage. These people obviously are trying. This place is in Makoko in Lagos. We have sent our Arise amazing correspondent, Adefemi Akinsoya, to go and do more investigation on this issue. This needs to be thoroughly dealt with. Really heartbreaking.
Completely. And you can see that I couldn't even watch the video. One glance and I turned away. It is too much for me. And you're right that this is the second time you're showing this kind of video. The first one is seared in my memory, even though I just watched for 1 second, because I really can't cope. I don't have the kind of bandwidth to cope with this kind of imagery. It's devastating. You had people who were bathing with this kind of water. Now we have children standing in it. And not just standing in it. The fact that they sang the first and second stanzas of our anthem and then the pledge is such a betrayal. And it reminded me of the protesters in Lekki at the toll gate who were singing the national anthem and were shot. So you see, for me, this is too much for me. I actually can't. OJ, if not that I have to sit here and talk about stories like this, I can't watch this.
We really have to.
It breaks my heart that this is how we treat our children in this country. They deserve so much better. What kind of diseases do you get standing in that kind of water? If it's okay for them to be stood there for their assembly, imagine what they are fed. What are they eating?
Thank
our
God.
Children.
Thank God for the person who captured this footage.
Yes.
Rufai, your comment on this.
When I said the problem is structural, I'm sure you thought I was lying.
No, of course not.
There goes the Nigerian child. But in this same Nigeria, you will see children of those that have looted money being in the best schools abroad. They will take pictures of their graduation of their own children and they will put it on social media. The only crime those children have committed is because they are Nigerians. and they sing glowingly to the national anthem of this country, and they pledge their allegiance for a country that wants them to constantly live in squalor. Audrey, the second point I want to make, it is not today the media have been doing videos about the deplorable condition of Makoko.
Yeah.
The first time I saw Makoko on TV in this deplorable condition, Audrey, is over 20 years ago. It was over 20 years ago. And till then, nobody has ever said, what can we do to fix Makoko? It has always been about the private sector or good-meaning, well-meaning Nigerians coming together to say, let's educate people in that region. It has always been the likes of Otto Oradam, of Slum to School, that goes in there, that provides education. Nobody ever says, how can we turn Makoko around? But you see, it's a structural problem,
That's what we need. That's
because
really
if they
what
want
we
to
need.
argue that Makoko is on the water, that's why it's like that,
Doesn't make any
I will
sense.
argue with them and say, how about Venice?
Venice.
So the question is, when
city
can we
on
make
water.
Makoko the Venice of Lagos?
Correct.
It is about structure. It is about people doing what is right and ensuring that close to 15 million pupils that are out of school in this country get a fair chance. You see why people are crying every day is because an average Nigeria never gets a fair fighting chance. Oji, a child born in Nigeria has a 5% chance of going to the university. A child born in an OECD country has an 80% chance of going to the university. There is no fairness.
Right. Well, apparently this video was taken a while ago. I'm just getting this from Headquarters of Education of Lagos State, saying that the video was taken some months ago by a church that wanted to use the video to raise funds for the school, and that the building has been demolished and is being rebuilt. The Lagos State authorities are sending officials there on Monday, which is today, to ascertain the level of the progress. Well, we'll look forward to that. We'll take another story. On Monday, news that wife of the late spokesperson of Afenifere, Yinka Odumaki, delivered a set of twins in the United States made the waves on social media. The family announced that the set of twins, a boy and a girl, and mother, Dr. Joy Okpe Odumaki, are in excellent health condition. The birth is coming 18 years after the last child of the family and just a few months after the death of Yinka Odumaki. Well, according to Joe, Yinka developed a strong desire to have another baby, and she took in just about the time Yinka took ill. Yinka never got to hear the news of his wishes coming to pass, but prophetically left words concerning what the baby or the babies should be called if his wishes materialized. How amazing is this story? I wanted to just do a feel-good story after that heart-wrenching story.
Thank you, Oji.
This is so amazing. Apparently, she's 55 years old. How amazing. Congratulations to the Odumaki family. Tundu Abiola, your take on
Big
the
congrats, warm congrats.
Yes.
This is amazing on every single level. And it's really sad that they will never know their father, but we all knew their father. And I'm sure all through their lives, they're going to hear really amazing things from the people he touched, those he impressed, with his forthrightness, his valor, just like their mother. And so they're going to do great things. These are destiny children. I mean, they clearly came to the world to fulfill a purpose, and they're also beautiful ashes. After everything that family went through, with the loss that they suffered, it's beautiful.
Such a beautiful story.
I mean, I'm so happy about this. Very good news, because Mr. Odumaki was a friend of the family here at Arise.
Yes.
I remember how he would come in, sit down, analyze issues, and we'd talk back and forth, and just understanding the fact that one day when we heard it was gone, that we'll never get a chance to see him again and call him, I still have his number on my phone. Because, when people pass, I can't come to terms with deleting their numbers.
Yeah, you said.
For me, they live with me forever. I have a lot of numbers on my phone of people that have passed. And Mr. Yinka Odumaki is just, one of them. But to hear a very wonderful news like this, I am so elated. I'm so happy. And I pray that they will grow and they will do well. And you see, the good of Nigeria that their father fought for, they will enjoy the good of the land.
Amen.
They will enjoy the good of the land. Nigeria will be good for all of us. And most importantly, I want to also use this as a point of contact to women over 40, over 50. seeking God's face for the fruit of the womb. You might have done 1 or 2, 3 IVFs. God never forgets. And he'll meet you at the point of your needs. And he'll do it. And this is a good news. She's 55. Wow.
Yes.
It shows that your time too will come.
Incredible.
Your time will come. I mean, big congratulations.
Wonderful.
I loved the story. We'll take our final story. Cross River State Governor Professor Ben Ayade's budget, christened Conjugated Agglutination, which was presented to the state's House of Assembly on Friday, garnered mixed reactions on social media over the weekend. The governor, while explaining the title of the budget, says it is a cascade of many projects back-to-back to ensure their completion. Since the governor came into power, titles of budget from the state government have been a subject of discussion on political terrains. I mean, I don't know who's a science student here. Please,
yes, I am.
Agglutination.
Yeah. So agglutination really in scientific terms means just clumping together, of blood cells and the likes and all of that. So it's a scientific term. So I think because he's a scientist, he's a professor, he likes to use those scientific terms, just like when he said there's the masses, and processes like that and things like that. So conjugated agglutination means like a consolidation, consolidation of things, clumping them together that can deliver a result. But for me, yes, I'm not concerned about the fashionable budget names. What I'm concerned about is how targeted are your developmental strides to the people. I have to check. Cross River still has close to 50% unemployment rates. Then something is wrong, Oji. If with all of these fancy budget names, it is not impacting. And I think that's why we should open a conversation, really, about what are the things needed in every state to create employment opportunities and economic possibilities for the people. Because you can have all the fancy name, do White Elephant Project. But the question is, does the White Elephant Project trickle down? He's launched an airline. Yeah, he says that'll create job. How? He says he has over 2,000 people that are employed as aides of government and things like that. How is that creating job? He said he's going to launch Kalas Chicken, chicken processing flat. How much job is that creating?
We're still waiting
he
for
said
Kalas Vegas.
Kalas Vegas.
Kalas Vegas,
we talked about Kalas Vegas. How much job is that creating? In all of this, it is showing that it is not trickling down. It is not reaching the people if the unemployment rate is still high. I know his argument, because we've had him on the show many times, is to say, no, those people that put together the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics figures are not fair to him. But the question is, in Anambra State, we saw successive unemployment rates drop over the years in Anambra State. So what did Anambra do that other people can learn from? It's not about fancy name for budget. And the most important question is, how is he going to fund the budget? Because I remember there was also a time that when he saw the size of the budget, he started crying. So how is he going to fund this one?
Well, the last thing you need when you're talking about a budget is style over substance.
Yeah.
So we can have the catchy names, we can all titter about it, but it's hardly the point. You've made good points here. This is a 276 billion naira project. But a few months ago, I was reading how capital budget implementation is worse in Cross River and some other states. So he's not getting the marks. We have to look at implementation first and foremost. It's not about the title, even the amounts that you're allocating. Let's talk about implementation. As you said, the trickle-down effect to the grassroots, to the people that need it. So, yeah, I mean, Governor Ayade has been in office since 2015. He's on his, last lap almost. I will miss the catchy names. Same way as I miss the crankum gentleman, Honorable Obiagbon. I miss him terribly, and I'll miss this one when he, goes on to the next thing that he's going to do. But beyond that, the people of Cross River do deserve full implementation. It's not about titles.
Not fancy names.
Yes.
Well, that's all I have for you, beautiful people today.
Thank you, Ojenika. Thank you so much.
Well, I'll see you all tomorrow.
Oji, your red agglutinates.
Agglutinate.
The red you're wearing is agglutinates.
It's vermilion, darling. It's vermilion. It's vermilion.